Hello, and welcome to my channel, The Entrepreneurial Mindset. My name is Jay Berman, and today's presentation will be Essential Marketing Concepts, Episode 7. To learn more in depth about the concepts I'm presenting today, please purchase my book, Is Your Business Idea a Good Investment, on Amazon.com. I have a Kindle version only. Go to the Amazon search bar, select books, type in my name, Jay Berman, and scroll to my book to purchase to support my work and this channel. Thank you. So today I'm going to discuss promotion, which I define as designing one consistent message via advertising to prospects that span many media platforms. So there's TV, which includes your traditional broadcast, cable, now streaming. There's radio, podcasts. There's print, such as newspapers, magazines. There's direct mail, there's email, there's websites, which would include SEO, which is search engine optimization strategies, mobile phones, your apps, social media, and channels such as YouTube and Rumble. And the purpose of your message is to be consistent, is to explain to your prospects why your product is better than your competitors. And my recommendation, if you own a small business or you're planning a small business, that your promotion strategy should include a website. Make sure it's mobile friendly. It has good search engine optimization. I recommend Wix.com. They are not a sponsor of this channel, but I'm familiar with their work. I started using Wix over 25 years ago. And so they are a web design firm, company that you can build your website online yourself. So I highly recommend them. There's social media. You're probably familiar with Facebook, Instagram. And then there's channels. You can actually start your own YouTube channel, or you can start your own Rumble channel. And then, of course, there's email marketing. I recommend these advertising platforms for small businesses because they tend to be less expensive. I just don't imagine a small business having millions of dollars to advertise on radio and TV. Print advertising tends to be rather expensive as well. So you're probably if you're a small business, you probably should start off with essentially a digital marketing strategy or a social media marketing strategy. Now, your advertising, there are certain common types of advertising, whether it's in print or video. There's the slice of advertising, slice of life advertising, advertisements where you show in the daily life of people how your product is being used. There's the lifestyle. You might have a spokesperson. Usually a spokesperson can be a celebrity, but it can certainly be anybody else familiar with your product. A spokesperson can also be the content creator of a YouTube channel. So if you want to advertise on a particular YouTube channel that you follow, you subscribe to, you can certainly contact that content creator as a subscriber and ask them what their advertising rates are, if they can become a spokesman on their channel for your product. There's fantasy, there's humor, product samples, mood or image. Maybe have a video where you demonstrate your products. A lot of product advertising uses music, and maybe scientific proof of your product's benefits. Some of the most common advertising appeals. How is the person going to profit from your product? How is the person's health going to improve or get better? Sometimes people use fear to promote their products, maybe admiration, maybe the product is more convenient than another product. Maybe it can be fun, it can be pleasurable. You appeal to people's vanity, their egotism, or you can appeal to their environmental consciousness, save the planet, those type of appeals. But before you pick an advertising platform or a medium, there are three things you need to think about when it comes to planning your advertising. There's the reach, frequency, and effectiveness. So let's talk about reach for a moment. The reach is the number of prospects who will see your advertisement. So let's say, for example, you want to reach 100,000 people. How much is it going to cost to reach those people who will hopefully see your advertisement? Now, if you reach 100,000 people, may not all see your advertisement, but at least you're reaching 100,000 people. And then there's the frequency, the number of times prospects will see your advertisement. And then after your reach and your frequency, how effective was your advertising? In other words, what's the number of prospects you were able to persuade to become buyers? So, for example, let's say you need 10,000 buyers, okay, to make your business profitable, to make it a business that has a high rate of return. So you may have to reach, let's say, let's say 250,000 prospects, let's say. And then of the 250,000, maybe half are going to see your ad more than once, or they want to see your ad more than once, or they're willing to see your ad more than once. You know how on YouTube channels they have that little skip button for advertising if you don't want to be bothered with that particular advertisement while you're watching a show on YouTube or Rumble. And then so you got 250,000, maybe you're down to 150,000, and hopefully of that 150,000, maybe 10,000 of those people will become actual buyers. So you got reach, frequency, and effectiveness. And that should help you budget your advertising. So what is your objective? In other words, the goal and objectives the company is trying to achieve. For example, how many customers do you need? How many units do you need to sell? If it's a good, how many services do you need to sell? What is your, let's say, your net profit or net income goal? And a CPA would help you with those goals, assuming you've written a business plan. How much can you spend? What can you afford in terms of advertising? You may have to spend hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on advertising to get the number of people to be, number of prospects to be your buyers. And then there's competitive parity. I would recommend that you research where competitors are advertising and then perhaps seek alternative venues where competitors are not advertising. So the thing about advertising is, and this is true, 50% of your advertising budget is usually wasted. The problem is you don't know which 50%. A lot of advertising, unfortunately, is trial and error. But if you have a certain budget, then how much of that budget is going to reach the prospects that you need to see your advertisement, become aware of your product? How often do you have to advertise again and again and again in terms of frequency? And then hopefully that advertising will persuade people to buy your goods or services. Now, part of promotion is sales promotions. So you may offer discounts in the form of coupons and maybe rebates, maybe contests, loyalty programs for customers who want to become long-term customers, maybe offer free merchandise or samples, and free shipping. So free shipping is particularly a good promotional strategy if you are selling strictly online. So it's not unusual to see websites who say, you buy $50 or $100 or $75, where the customer gets free shipping. Again, it's a way of encouraging customers to make bigger purchases or more frequent purchases. And then once you start getting customers, you want to encourage them to become loyal customers. In other words, frequent buyers. So what are the advantages of a loyalty program? It encourages more frequent purchases to achieve perhaps the next level of loyalty, prevents customers from switching to competitors, eventually blocks the effects of competitors' persuasive advertising and selling, because not only are you poaching your competitors' customers, your competitors are going to try to poach your customers as well. And nice thing about loyalty programs is that it encourages purchases of additional products, whether you want them to purchase more of existing products, or perhaps you're introducing new products to existing customers. And that's all I have for today in this presentation. Any questions or comments, use the comments section below. Subscribe to my channel for more educational content about entrepreneurship. And I thank you for watching.